All right, welcome to the Tuesday 20, everybody. I'm Amber Smithson, Presidential Director, and so excited for today's topic. But before we get going on the training, just wanted to remind you of a few events coming up. We have, let's see, in 2 days, on October 12th, we have a opportunity meeting and coach training this Thursday in Sandy, the Megaplex Theaters and Jordan Commons. And that is, is it 6:30? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 6:30. And so that'll be an awesome one. If you are anywhere near Utah, get yourself there. And the other awesome, and it's at the same place, would be a week from this Saturday on October 21st. Dave Blanchard is doing a free event at the same place at the Megaplex in Sandy. And he's going to be speaking, and also, Lee Steinberger? Someone correct me. It's the real Jerry Maguire. It's the guy they based the Jerry Maguire movie on. So that's going to be a really cool event. And that one starts, I believe, at like 9 a.m., something like that. I need to send that out. I will send that out today. I know I said that last week and I forgot. So I apologize. But there's two really awesome events that you can utilize if you live in this area. Does anybody have any other events they want to announce? Go ahead and take yourself off mute. Anybody? All right. You can also tell it to me and I can put it on the coach calendar. If you don't know how to connect your phone, if you use Google Calendar, make sure you connect the coach calendar to your Google Calendar. You just add it. It's in Simple Systems. It's like the second line down. It has just a little plus sign in the bottom right of the coach calendar, and you can add that calendar right to your phone. That way you don't have to remember Tuesday 20 or when events are, it'll automatically pop up on your calendar, which is really helpful if you're new especially. All right. Anybody else have any announcements? Jared, do you have anything you wanted to go over before we get to our training?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay, I'm going to throw it over to Kirtley, and she has been preparing for today's training, and I'm so excited. Kirtley is one of the top coaches on our team. She has been fully integrated business coach for a really long time. And she is just a really great coach, helping people through different situations. And I'm so excited that she's going to be training us all today on how to coach our clients through social situations and using Stop Challenge Tues, because I think this is such a valuable thing for us to, because all of our clients go through, they have stuff that comes up and they get in their head. And so I'm really excited for her to teach us all about this. So Kirtley, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go for it. Thanks.
Okay, guys, I'm so excited to talk to you about this. I've lost about 25 pounds, kept it off for 6 years, found the program after I'd lost it. And a huge part of my story was in college. That's like college is where I gained a lot of my weight, especially like freshman year. And I was like basically out of control with like sugar and just eating anything that was there, that was available. And when I was stressed, like, woohoo, I have brownies my roommates made. Like I couldn't stop myself. And I looked back in my freshman journal, and almost every day I wrote, oh, I wish I could lose 10 pounds. Oh, I wish I could lose 5 pounds. And so it was just obsessive on my mind. So I would try to like, okay, no more sugar or no more unhealthy food for a whole week. And, you know, I was just totally in diet mode. And it wasn't until one of my public health classes, I'm a nurse, but I was switching between nursing or public health. I couldn't decide. And my instructor comes in, and he's this older guy in his 60s, and he was so healthy. Like healthy old people really catch my eye because it's rare to see. And he walks in and says, if people knew this one basic principle, there'd be a lot less overweight people in the world. And I was like, what is it? And he said, you eat when you're hungry, and you stop eating when you're satisfied. It's called intuitive eating. And I was like, oh, intuitive eating. That sounds kind of cool. But I didn't like look into it more, but that phrase stuck in my head, and it just kind of like, I wasn't sure what it meant, but I knew it must mean listening to your body. And so I kept gaining weight. And finally, I just had enough. I hated the stomach pooch. I was so obsessed with it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this intuitive eating thing, whatever that means, and try to lose weight. So over a year and a half, I lost about 25 pounds. And it wasn't dieting, it was listening to myself. And it was learning how to eat healthier snacks when I was hungry. And so now I really love teaching people the principles of intuitive eating, and eating when you're hungry and you stop when you're satisfied. And starting on the 6 fuelings a day, you guys, is the perfect way to help people start connecting with their body. Because most of my clients, they don't know when they're hungry. They don't know when they're satisfied. They just eat until they're stuffed and their stomach hurts. And they're afraid to eat less because they don't want to be hungry, especially you men that I've talked to. And this all wraps around into awakening your awareness into emotional and social circumstances that I want to teach you all about. And you can take notes and teach it to your clients. Don't get overwhelmed though, because you don't need to teach this. So by the raise of hands, how many of you have struggled with emotional eating when you're bored, lonely, angry, stressed, tired? Okay, everyone. How many has clients that have struggled with it and you've talked about, you've asked with? Yeah, totally. Very, very common, especially stress and boredom. Those are the 2 I hear all the time. And so Stop, Challenge, Choose is when it comes in as the first step to awakening awareness. And I'm going to take a few steps back to kind of give you the background. Have you guys heard of the book called The Power of Habits? Anyone raise your hand? The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. It's incredible, and I would encourage everyone to read it. It'll help you understand how to help your clients more. So let me pull up the graph. Okay, see if I can share my screen. Okay, so Charles Duhigg says there's 3 parts to a habit, you guys. We all have a cue or a trigger, and then we all have a routine that we do, and then a reward that we're looking for, and that's why we do the routine. And so you have to, and for our clients, it's the routine, the one in the middle, is what we got to change. So you keep the cue, you keep the reward, and you insert a new routine. And that's why we have them make a list of activities that they'll do instead of having sugar or eating out, eating unhealthy. And so you write that list of, okay, I can go talk to a friend, I can go pick my toenails, I can look at a funny YouTube video or whatever. And so that's kind of where it starts is, okay, let's focus on changing that routine and figuring out exactly what your reward you're going after. Because a lot of people, when they say, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm going to go eat candy. And that literally happened to me a few weeks ago. I was feeling stressed and I didn't realize I was feeling stressed. And so I was just mindlessly walking to the kitchen, but I'm used to Stop, Challenge, Choose. And so I stopped myself, and I just the moment of awakening awareness, I stopped, I asked myself, well, why do I want chocolate? Am I feeling an emotion right now? And I go, yeah, I'm stressed. And then I asked, well, will chocolate make my stress go away? And I said, no. Then what will? Probably getting back to work. And so I did, and immediately my cravings went away. And so this is super powerful with helping with that. And I thought most of your clients will start out thinking that chocolate will give them comfort. It can give you a hug. No, it can't. It's not going to give you comfort. It might give you a few seconds of the dopamine rush, but it's going to go away. And so you can take the time asking your clients, well, what are you searching for when you're going to the vending machine? Are you wanting a social break? Are you wanting interaction? Because a lot of my clients actually go to the cafeteria because they just want a distraction. They want to talk to their friends. And so I say, how about instead of going to the cafeteria to get a donut, let's change their routine and have the same reward. How about you go to the desk next to you and go chat with somebody? And I'm like, okay, I'll try that, or go call someone. And that fixes, it meets the reward, but it changes the routine. So the other part is helping your clients find the trigger. And this really helps with social circumstances and emotional circumstances. So I'll find my other worksheet. Okay. The thing at the top is not moving. There we go. Okay, so here is the Finding Your Trigger worksheet that I use. Can you guys see that okay? So it says, find your triggers, what's going on when you have cravings. And so you can send it has Monday to Sunday. And when they have that craving or that trigger, have them stop, challenge, choose. So stop, awaken awareness, challenge. Figure out the time of day it is, figure out the location, figure out the people you're with. Maybe it's because we're kind of looking over why are they wanting this? Are they with their friends? So whenever with their friends, they want go get milkshakes. How hungry are they? We want to start figuring out that intuitive eating, connecting with your body. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, like being super full and 1 being super hungry, have them kind of figure that out. Typically people get cravings when they're above a 7. If 5 is neutral, 6 is I'm starting to get hungry, 7 is okay, cravings are kicking in. So you don't want to keep your clients from getting into the 7 and above range. And that's happens to me. I like almost always crave chocolate if I'm above 7 and when I'm thirsty. And so then you ask, are they emotional? And so they'll learn about this in just a second, and then they write down their choice. And so you can kind of have them figure out what their triggers are to start waking in the awareness, to understand how their body works and how their mind works. Okay, so you start with that in that habit loop. And then here is my favorite sheet. It's questions to ask yourself when you have a food choice. So stop, challenge, choose. Stop, think, awaken awareness, challenge, ask these questions, choose what matches your long-term goals. So you ask yourself, okay, and I'd have them print out these questions, and this, you guys, like, this is what keeps me healthy. Like, I don't eat perfect. I've had donuts for breakfast last week. I'm not this perfect eater, but it's really easy for me to maintain my weight. Is because I'm so in tune with my body, and it's because I'm really used to like just diving down and asking myself all these questions. So you ask yourself, am I hungry? Would I eat something healthy? Like, do I feel like an apple right now? That kind of gives you a good idea if you're hungry. And if they're not, then they're probably having an emotional craving. And they ask yourself, am I thirsty? Because most times you're thirsty when you crave things. So that's why you got to bring your water bottle everywhere you go with you. And that helps our clients get in tune with that in the beginning. We're teaching them habits from the beginning. And then, am I emotional? Have you guys heard, raise your hand, have you heard of the acronym BLAST? Okay, I'm gonna go over this again. So BLAST stands for bored, lonely, angry, stressed, sad, or tired. So teach that to your clients so they can start asking, okay, am I BLAST right now? Which emotion am I feeling, okay? And then after that, if they are an emotion, then immediately they can ask, kind of what I did, will this fix my problem? Will chocolate make my stress go away? No, what will? Will chocolate give me a hug? Because maybe they want comfort. No, where can they find comfort? Okay. And then here's a really fun thing that helps me. I worked on this hardcore when I was trying to lose weight, is am I falling for a food fallacy? And so here's, I'm gonna make this go a little bit bigger. Here's what a food fallacy is. Is it free? So a lot of people want to eat something because it's free. That's what I did, especially in college. If there was donuts, I had to eat it because it was free. And I was actually just talking to a client, and she said her self-worth was so low that she thought she didn't deserve to eat healthy food, that she should eat anything, like whatever was free, because she wasn't worth spending money on. So it's interesting when you get into this kind of thing. Ask yourself, is it a rare opportunity? Is that why I want this? So Thanksgiving, birthdays, Christmas, holidays, those are when food fallacies come in. It's a rare opportunity, so I have to eat it. And that's just not true. And so you help awaken awareness and say, actually, I don't have to eat it because it's free. Actually, I don't have to eat it because it's a rare opportunity. Yeah, my aunt makes an amazing pie once a year. I don't have to eat it. Okay? And so just catching yourself on that. And the other one is, this one I hear all the time. Raise your hand if you've heard it. I shouldn't waste food. So you feel obligated, and this is a great way to gain weight, is make sure you finish everything on your plate. And a lot of our parents taught us this, and a lot of their parents taught us this. And so a fun thing to say is, well, would you rather waste it, or would you rather waste it, W-A-I-S-T, like put it on your waist? Okay, and so what I see, the way I see it, food is to nourish my body. And if I cross the boundary where it's not nourishing me anymore and it could cause me to gain weight, then it's gonna be a waste if I put it in my body. And so I can make it, waste it in the garbage can, or waste it and make myself the garbage reciprocal. And so it's just like, help your clients see that, and they can always just put it away and put it in the fridge. And at restaurants, this is where you're going to hear a lot, as like all you can eat buffets. Social eating is it's free, or I paid for it, or I shouldn't waste it. And so you feel obligated to waste it on your body. So the other one is I paid good money for it. This is social eating kicks in, where, oh, you went to a fancy restaurant. And instead, maybe you could ask your clients, hey, like, what are the other experiences that you really enjoy about eating out? Do you enjoy the ambiance? Do you enjoy the conversation? And so that's what you pay for, really, is the experience, not for the food. So keep that in mind. And I'll go through 2 more and then put the question out to everyone. I'd love to hear about food fallacies that you've seen in your own clients or your own life, and maybe times you've talked through it or whatever, okay? So be thinking about that. The other one is I'll be missing out on all the fun. I'm sure you've heard of that, because people don't want to miss out, especially in social circumstances. And that's where you take a step back and say, is food the only way you can have fun? And yeah, I agree. Food makes my life so fun, but you don't have to overeat it. Like, you can use a 3-bite rule and have just a little bit, and then have that, and then focus more on the conversation that's going on, and focus more on caring about people and letting them know that they're important. So working on getting out of yourself and expressing that to other people. And then the other one is my favorite, is I love food too much, I can't lose weight. I love food too much, therefore I must eat it. So when your clients say that, when people say that, especially if they're just interested clients, oftentimes they're getting mixed up. They're saying, I love food too much, therefore I must eat too much of it. When if you really love food, like as I got healthier, I loved food more, and I gained a bigger appreciation for it, and I saw the difference between eating too much and enjoying the experience while I ate it. So that is the mindful eating, when you take small bites and you really enjoy the flavor and you notice them. Because before, I would just pig out. I would demolish a whole thing of brownies without even tasting it, really. I was just like, rah, 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 like, just get it in my body. And that's not enjoying food. That's not loving food. That's loving being stuffed. Okay. And so teaching them to love the tiny bites. And literally, whenever I eat a really savory meal, I pretty much close my eyes and I stop talking to anyone. I'm like, 1 second. And I just let the pure joy overflow in my body. And I don't have to eat too much. Like, that kind of ruins the whole thing for me. If I overeat, then I don't feel good anymore. What if you could eat incredible food, love the experience, and still feel good afterwards? Like, that would be the dream come true. Okay. So that's the basics of food fallacies to watch out for with social circumstances and emotional circumstances with your clients. And then I'll ask that, actually, yeah, let's open that up real quick, and then I'll finish the rest of the questions for Stop Challenge Tues. I would love to hear from you guys, what you like, any of those food fallacies you've seen from yourself. And yes, I can give you the forms, or any interesting conversations you've had with your clients. So up to you. I mean, I'll throw it out to you guys.
Hey, Kirtley.
Yeah.
Hey, so one food fallacy that I come across a lot, I don't know if you guys hear this, but, and I've experienced this, I had struggled with binge eating for years before I was able to get a handle on it with this program.
I don't know that, Margie. That is cool.
Oh, I think a lot of people do, and they're ashamed to talk about it, so I just want to be more open about it because I think it's pretty relatable. But for me, I knew that whenever I'd have something like too many almonds, or I had a bite of my kids' mac and cheese, the day was ruined, and then you just kind of go off on this binging thing where it's like it didn't matter after that what point you were at. You were out of fat burn, and so you just eat whatever you want, right? And so that's something that I really try to work hard with my clients on is, hey, if you do make a mistake, because we all do, we're human, don't let that mistake start an avalanche effect. Like, stop in your tracks, challenge yourself to get back on track, and choose the right direction again. And so that's, I think, a really important technique that we can work on with our clients is once you have made a step in the wrong direction, to pull back and really get back on track and not, beat yourself. I like Amber's little saying that she says, well, if you get a flat tire, you're going to slash the other 3. No, you're going to fix it and get back on track again. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. That's
powerful stuff. Thank you, Margie. Totally loved what you shared. And it's like one of my favorite things to work on with my clients is self-love. And to work on that so that they feel that, like, that they deserve being healthy, and they can, instead of like after they've messed up, instead of being, oh, I'm the worst ever, focusing on what they did well, you know. And so like getting rid of guilt. I want to tell you this, and please remember this: the best way to get addicted to something is to put guilt on it. Okay? And so we have to remove guilt from food, because when you feel guilty, then you feel the stress, this tension of, oh, I want to do it, bad or whatever. And so remove it and say, hey, that's okay. Your worst days are your best data. That's from the book, Change Anything. And so you're just learning to watch yourself. And instead of like being mad, oh, you binge, say, well, let's take a step back. What were your triggers? Where were you? What time of day was it? Who are you with? What was the emotion you were feeling? Okay, what we're going to do next time? And let's experiment as a scientist. So let's see. Someone just said free samples. Okay, I've been eating healthy, so I deserve. That's from the book have you heard of the Willpower Instinct? It's a great book to read. And that talks about a lot of people when they're just relying on willpower and they're not going, they're relying on willpower, then a high percentage will eat healthy in the morning, and then at night, the willpower is drained and say, I deserve this. And so we want to get out of the deserve. And Kaylee Gubler told me this quote. Kaylee is when she decided to go for healthy instead of skinny, that's when everything changed for her. So go for healthy. Teach your clients, go for healthy, not skinny, because when you're going for healthy, you'll want to make healthy choices, whatever the scale says. And then you're not going to get mad at yourself. You have a whole new reason and why. And when you just honor yourself and love yourself enough to honor that body and respect that body, you make amazing choices. And it doesn't mean I never eat dessert. I eat dessert all the time, you guys. But I eat the right amounts for my body. I'm listening. And there's no perfect way to do it. It's just I'm listening. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Tell me worst days. Who said that? That's from anything.
I have some then, Kirtley.
Yeah.
Liz was saying she has a hard time passing up free food. And I think that's really hard for a lot of us. Like, or somebody gives it to you, or, you know, it's there free. And so I have combated this by saying, okay, this is cheap and easy food. Am I cheap and easy?
Oh.
So I kind of put a negative connotation of, is it cheap and easy? And do I want to eat cheap and easy? Like, no. Like it kind of just puts it in the mud, all that cheap and easy food. So that actually really helps me when I'm at a church event, or, you know, somebody's brought in donuts for free at work or school. That could really apply there. So maybe, you know, we are what we eat. So
yeah, I love that.
That's me
sharing that. Thanks for sharing, Amy. The way I see it too, because people often say, like, I have to eat it, it's free. Well, guess what? It's going to cost a lot more money to get you healthy again than the reward of it being free. You know, like, who would gain weight for free? You want to gain weight for free? People don't even want to, invest that. So invest in getting healthy. So it's interesting. And yeah, that's beautiful how you put it. And I saw someone write about hurt their feelings. And about hurting your feelings, like that's when I challenge every belief that you have, you guys. This is how I progress. Challenge. Every time you have a message to yourself, ask, well, why is that true? And how can I change it? So when I believe that, I don't want to offend them. Then I looked at, hey, I have a friend who's has celiac disease. They don't seem to be worried at all about offending people. And why is that? And how can I have that too? Because I want to have that state of peace that they do. And they just assume it. They're not ashamed. And so we cannot be ashamed of honoring our body. Our body is so amazing. It is the most beautiful gift we have. We have everything in our life because of our bodies. Our relationships can be better because of our bodies. We have work, we have our kids, and so it's just like honor that body. You just have one. And so as far as hurting feelings, you can say it in different ways. Like make sure you tell the person ahead of time that you're going, so you don't, we were worrying about offending. So telling people ahead of time is huge. And when you get there, you can always say, hey, I'm not hungry, maybe later, I just ate, I'm going to eat, thanks so much. So don't ever say I'm on a diet or I can't or I shouldn't, because that's taking yourself out of the control. Like, take the accountability of what you want to have happen. But then just remember, like, treat yourself like you have celiacs. Just say, oh, no, it's okay. Sugar makes me inflamed because it does, right? It makes us gain weight. It's kind of a joke. But just assume it, and just assume people will treat you well. Is because when I went out to eat with my friends and everyone had Costa Vida. And I was literally about to eat with my mom.
I'll come say, tuck you back in.
I did notice, like, what if I was trying to lose weight right now? I probably would have gone in with severe anxiety, thinking they're going to think I'm weird for not eating with them. They're going to judge me. They're going to make me eat it with them. But because I just came in and I was like, I wasn't ashamed. I wasn't thinking they were going to judge me. I wasn't judging myself, which is huge. Don't judge yourself. I just ate water. And they didn't even ask a question. So just teach your clients, go in confidently with what you want. And when they're like, hey, have this with us, they don't live in your body. You live in your body 24 hours a day. And so you get to decide what goes in there. Okay, so what else? Does anyone else have examples to share or something they struggle with the food fallacies or anything like that? Sugar doesn't like me. I like that. You can say you have an allergy.
One thing that I was thinking about that I learned at this conference I went to is it's very rare for other people to give you the kind of, or let's see if I can say it right, however much respect you give to yourself, then that's what other people will give to you. And what you just said, like, totally hits that on the nail, that if you yourself are worried about all these things and you're not giving the respect to yourself, other people are not going to give that to you as well. They're going to pick up on that and be like, something's wrong, their radar comes out, why aren't you eating? But if you have that peace within yourself and you're saying, I get to choose what I put in my body, and yeah, maybe sometimes you do choose something that is not, 100% healthy or has sugar, but when you are owning that, when you're living above the line and you're not playing a victim, you're not saying, oh, I wish I could eat that. Like, oh, I'm not allowed to. My diet doesn't let, my coach doesn't let me. Then you're below that line, and people pick up on that, and they're going to pick up on that victim mentality as well. So that really resonated with me, what you said.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, Amber. And like she said, like, sometimes eat something healthy. I listen to my body. I have a trigger. It's the stinking gas station over there. They make huge homemade cinnamon rolls with cream cheese frosting, which is my favorite. The minute I found out and had my first one, every single time I go by that, I think cinnamon roll. It's just how our brains work. Like, that's the power of sugar. And so when I drive by, I say, how would I feel after I ate that cinnamon roll? My body will tell me, like your bodies tell you, start listening. My body will produce this ugly feeling like, ugh, I feel gross. So I'm like, I don't want it. And craving gone. And so because I'm honoring, because my body knows I can have it if I really want it. So there are some days that I drive by and say, how do I feel? I'll feel great. So I had it. And I don't have another one for 3 months, and I have it guilt-free, because guilt will make me go crazy. So this is how to live with freedom, you guys. Food freedom. There's no deprivation involved. You question your beliefs. You ask yourself, so that you're not fighting this evil monster, but you're taking accountability and you're honoring your body. And you're thinking, when I'm in social circumstances, I feel this tightness in my chest. When there was a lemon meringue bar there, and I just remember, I was in the middle of the observation period for myself, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really want that. And then I started asking, well, how can I not have this feeling? Why am I wanting that? It's because a food fallacy is it's a rare opportunity. Okay, just doesn't mean I have to have it. I've lived 25 years. I can go a day without having it. I'm fine. And I thought, well, what else can I make? And so I've discovered that if I can fill my body with joy while watching other people eat, my cravings go away. And then I don't have to suffer the consequences of eating something unhealthy. So when I'm watching my friends eat donuts and my body is not wanting to eat a donut or whatever, then I just smile. And I think, this is great. And you can teach your clients on Thanksgiving. And they don't have to be perfect on Thanksgiving, but whatever. You can appreciate all the pies and find that joy that other people are eating it. And think, and that produces that joy, and it gets rid of the tension inside of yourself. Say, it's cool that it's there. It's making this holiday fun, and I don't have to eat it and suffer the consequences. So it's kind of cool. Okay.
Kirtley, I just had something I wanted to say. I love what you said, and I already wrote it up on my board to remind me your worst days are your best data. And I think that is just so powerful for what we're doing with ourselves and our clients, because there is no way we can be perfect with our health. Like, there is always something you can be doing better, right? Always. There's always one step further, which is cool. Like, we're never going to arrive, and so how cool that we keep going. But if we teach this to ourselves and our clients, like, I just had this aha of like, that's like what we need to learn. Like, that is so cool. And I was just thinking about yesterday how I had a thought, like, it was I was offended by something, and I was like, instead of like beating myself up over this, like, it was so interesting the way I did. I told my husband, I said, this is what happened, and then this is like what I thought. And then all of a sudden it was like non-judgmental of myself. I was like, oh, that's just really interesting. And then I was able to like make the corrections of like, I'm not really offended. It's just because of this and this and this. And it was like, to me, that was a perfect example of how I did that successfully and how I want to continue to do that, just looking at it all. And then my last thought is, I love that we're doing this on a coach training, you guys, because like, this is like exactly what we need in order to take our businesses to the next level. I feel like with health coaching, every time that I decide to take my health to the next level, that's when it affects everything else. So that I just love that. So if you feel like a little bit stuck with your business, this might be just a thing to like focus on for a second, so that you can kind of find that traction with your business as well.
Yeah, because you can't teach what you don't know. And that is, I want so bad to teach freedom to my clients. So I've practiced so many things. I've read so many books so I can help that with other people. So now we're out of time. I'm going to show you the rest of the questions, and then I'll be almost done. Okay, so here's the last of the questions. How will I feel after eating this? Physically and emotionally. That is the number one question that helps me, because your body produces the answer, and if you just have to start listening. A year from now, this is great for social circumstances. A year from now, will I truly regret not eating this, or will I be proud that I stuck to my goals? Because I practiced. I thought, okay, think about last Thanksgiving. Was I so mad that I didn't pig out on the pie? Or was I happy that I just ate? I was the slowest one to eat it, and I only had one serving. I'm like, I'm happy about that. That's great. The memories are about the people. So like, help your clients to get things into perspective. And the last one, what do I want to have happen? What do I want most? What are my goals? Don't give up what you want most for what you want in the moment. My mom taught me that. And that's what we should be teaching our clients. Okay. And then the hunger scale, I'll post this as well. This is helping your clients tune into their hunger. When they eat their feelings, have them think about on a scale, the hunger scale, well, where am I? How hungry am I? And at the beginning, they're pretty hungry when they eat because they're getting into fat burn. But 5 is neutral and 4 is beginning to feel hungry, and that's when I want to start eating. And that's perfect. This program teaches you that. You're getting into the habit of eating when you're slightly hungry, and then you want to stop when you're slightly fuller or pleasantly full, and that's at a 6. So have them just look into that. So that they can, after they've stopped eating, they can start to ask, well, how am I? I'm pleasant right now. I don't have to be full to be happy. Okay. And then one more thing, sorry, this is just rewinding. I have a friend whose grandpa or her dad always offered her dessert because he felt he was rude if he didn't offer. So remember, it's not you being rude saying no, it's them thinking I'll be rude if I don't offer. So remember that kind of makes it easy for social circumstances. They're trying to be polite, and I'll just let them know I'm okay. So anyways, the living in the law of abundance versus living in the law of deprivation. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. And that will help you get away from dieting and that stress and tension. The books I'd recommend are The Willpower, Power of Habits, Change Anything, and Intuitive Eating. Those are my top books I'd recommend starting with and practicing on yourself. So thanks you guys for listening. Let's all practice connecting with our bodies. They're amazing things, loving ourselves more and really connecting. So that's all.
Awesome, Kirtley. Thank you so much for all your preparation. And we will post all of those docs that Kirtley shared in the group because that is such a great resource. I could think of several clients that I have that I'm going to send that to them and have them print it off and put it on their bathroom mirror. And for me too, it's such a good reminder for us. That's the cool thing about being a coach is that we get to have these reminders not just for our clients, but for ourselves, because none of us are perfect. And that's a fun, amazing thing that we get to keep striving for excellence instead of perfection. So thanks, you guys. Thank you for joining us. And one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning was there is a ASL health share tomorrow night, so American Sign Language. If you have any ties to the deaf community, they'll be doing an in-person meeting in American Fork tomorrow night. It's like 7 p.m. and there's also going to be a Zoom. So just contact me if you need that information. So thanks, guys. See ya. Have a great week.